Well, there is 105 days left from today until the exam. That's 15 weeks. If you take off the 4 to 5 weeks of review, you got about 10 weeks to get through the content. Some of you may have just started recently. Some of you may be looking at your books wondering, how am I going to get through the next 2 months? And I think there's a large group of candidates out there that find it hard to justify the cost of a prep provider, especially when there's only 15 weeks left. What benefit could it possibly add? We pride ourselves in having, I think, one of the most accessible price points in the industry for those who are approved prep providers. When we look at our cost in US dollars, because we price in Canadian, when you look at them in US dollars and you compare and benchmark against what others are providing, I'm very proud of the fact that we have been able to keep our prices extremely accessible. We price our product to appeal to the widest possible audience, while of course still covering the cost of what it takes to get this done. So let me walk you through a justification for why an investment of 375 Canadian with 15 weeks to go makes a lot of sense. And I've broken it down as a cost per day. So we charge $375, which is $282 US, because I find that people think a lot clearer in US dollars when we're talking globally. Canada's a very small currency. US can understand the Canadian dollar, but somebody in Europe or Asia probably doesn't understand the currency translation to from their currency to Canadian. So if you think in terms of US dollars, it's $282 US. With 105 days to go, it's basically $2.68 a day. We also sell each of the level 3 books by section. There are 6 books, books 1 through book 6, and we follow the CFAI numbering for our books. So book 1 is all ethics, book 2 is behavioral finance, individual and institutional investor portfolios, etc. It's $62.50 per section, which is $47 US. So with 105 days to go, that's 45 cents a day. Maybe you only need help with 1 or 2 books. Maybe book 4, fixed income and equity, is causing you a lot of grief and you just need a little bit of help there. 45 cents a day. When you think about it in US dollars. Well, let's go through what you get, and let's just assume that we're talking about the 375 package here. 52 hours of video covering every aspect of every reading. There are 37 readings. That's 52 hours of video covering those 37 readings. I explain everything. I break down every LOS. I follow the CFAI books very closely. I use a lot of the exhibits. I explain the exhibits. Review videos. I produce review videos at level 3 for most of the readings. There is a small review in front, which just reviews the main points of the reading. And then the end of chapter review questions. I do a walkthrough of them. And I also explain if this were an AM question on an exam, here's how you would answer it. So I show you a structure for answering AM exam questions. 4 full mock exams, AM session and PM session, with complete formula sheet. I've compiled a formula sheet. And the formula sheet I compiled is all of the formulas that the curriculum may make reference to at certain points with a compare, contrast, or describe, not just calculate. Where it says calculate, I'm very clear on where you would be expected to calculate. We have a question bank broken down by reading by LOS with approximately 1,500 questions in there. And under every video, we have a question and answer section. So let's say you're going through, I'll show you what it looks like in a few minutes, but let's say you're going through the fixed income session and you get to yield curve strategies, which is, well, it's a showstopper for a lot of people because it's not written very clearly. It's hard to follow sometimes. Well, you get to ask a question. Is one question worth $2.68? Let's say that you had a question in your mind and you say, I can't get past this. Would you pay somebody $2.68 to answer that question for you on the spot? Tutors are anywhere from $60 to $100 per hour, US. So break that down. Even at 45 cents a day for one book, would you pay 45 cents a day to have one question answered that you have? The other thing that we offer, we have past AM exam walkthroughs. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. We have 8 hours of book 2 exam prep. I did a seminar for book 2, a weekend boot camp seminar, and I recorded the whole thing. It's 8 hours long. It reviews all of the content of book 2, and in between each reading review, 3 to 4 exam style questions are taken up and a full walkthrough of those. And book 2 makes up 50% of the AM exam. So if you can nail book 2, you got half that AM exam taken care of. Also for the mock exams that we have, mock exam number 4, we have a complete walkthrough, question and answer by the writer and the grader of the exam. And when I say the grader, this is the individual that will also be doing some of our grading sessions for us as well. Plus, this says 51, there's actually only 37 at level 3. 37 videos for each reading. So reading 1 all the way through reading 37. We archive for you for future access. So 3-4 years down the road, you're a charter holder and there's something that you have to refer back to. You have your library there all the time. You cannot get this library unless you were a subscriber. So if 2-3 years later you say, you know what, I really wish I would have had a library or have that archive that I could refer to. And this archive, if you are a full charter holder, we are going to be introducing a feature where you can upgrade it year by year so you can satisfy your continuing education credits. Can't get that if you're not a subscriber. I stress that because I do know that there are people who share. I do know that there are people who are not capable of much else, who sell other people's stuff. I'm aware of that. But when you take that route, you lose all the benefits of actually doing it the right way. And this is, I think, a very big benefit, is that you have that ongoing ability to come back and can satisfy your continuing education credits. Because as a charter holder, you have to put in so many hours a year. And to have that ready reference library for you all the time. You can't get that after the fact. You can only get it as a result of a subscription. So let me show you the site and let me show you what I mean by the past AM exam walkthrough so you have a good idea of that. I'll show you the seminars we have in book 2, and I'll show you the mock exam walkthrough as well. All right, well, here's what the main landing page looks like. You're not going to see everything that I see. You'll see, if you've already been a subscriber with us, you'll see something called My Archive. That's where your previous year's content is stored. You'll see the Applied CFA series, which is something that I do, or I used to do on a weekly basis. I haven't had time lately, but I'm going to get back to it shortly, where I take concepts from the CFA content and I apply it in the real world. And then, of course, here's our level 3. Let's click here. Book 1, which is Ethics and Professional Standards. Book 2, we cover Behavioral Finance, Individual Investors and Institutional Investors. Book 3 is Application of Economic Analysis and Asset Allocation. Book 4 is Fixed Income and Equity Portfolio Management. And here, equity is brand new this year, all brand new. Fixed income has some added content, especially on carry trade. And fixed income is considered one of the more rigorous of the sections at level 3. Book 5 is Alternative Investments, Risk Management, and the Application of Derivatives. Very quantitatively driven here. And book 6 is nice and short, 3 readings: Trading and Rebalancing, Performance Evaluation, and the Global Investment Performance Standards, GIPS. Here's the past AM sessions, exam walkthrough. So if we click on here, we see that we have level 3 2015, 16, 17, 18. These are the real exams that were given in June. And it tells you how many videos are in each one. So from 2015, there's only 4 videos out of 10 questions. So the question is, where are the other 6? They're not relevant to the content today. Level 3 has been evolving very rapidly over the years, and there's another big change that we think is going to happen next year as well. So from 2015, only 4 of the questions have content that is even relevant for 2018. So I just try to keep the relevant content here. But this is a walkthrough of the actual questions. So we have 4, 8, 15. We have 21 questions from the last 4 years that have been asked, and we show you the question and we show you what a suitable answer would look like, or what a full mark answer would look like. This over here is the 2019 exam number 4. This is one of our mock exams. This is a full walkthrough of the exam. So if you have the mock exams and you do mock exam 4, this allows you to self-grade the exam yourself by having a walkthrough of every question where the grader narrates what the question was, what a suitable answer is, and the walkthrough is done in such a way that the exam was answered like a typical student would answer it. The questions are not perfect. They are done with common errors, so that when you look at the answer, you might think, yeah, that looks like a sufficient answer. And then when he starts talking about why it's not good enough, what else could have been done, why it fell short, you start to see, oh, I get it now. So that's a lot of valuable advice in there. So just in here alone, we can see that we have almost 5 or 6 hours of exam support. Let's step back and let's look at Book 2, because Book 2 has some very good seminars in there as well. So we have all the categories, all the readings for Book 2, and at the very bottom we have a seminar for AM exam strategies on how to answer the AM exam questions. It's only 20 minutes long, but these are really valuable. You have the Book 2 seminar live session part 1 and part 2. Notice it's about 7.5 hours long. It was a full weekend thing that I did. Where it was 10 or 15 minutes of review of a particular reading, then 2 or 3, followed by 2 or 3 exam questions about that. What would an exam question look like for this? And that's all of Book 2. And again, Book 2 makes up about 50% of the exam. Our question bank is up here, Quiz Builder. You can build your own quiz. So if you click on that, you won't see all the 3 levels, but you just click the plus sign and you click whatever book you want. Let's say you want Book 6, and let's say you just want the GIPS standards. Here are all of the LOSs for GIPS. So let's say you just want to test the first 5. This will give you just a quiz of those 5. And beside here, it tells you in LOSA of all the questions here, candidates have scored 75%. You have scored, you don't know. So it tells you what candidates have scored in the particular categories. So you can judge, you can benchmark your performance against everybody who's done one of these questions. So when you're going through a question bank, one of the popular questions seems to be, I'm getting about 65%. How is that in relation to the real exam? And that's the wrong way to ask it. It would be, I'm getting 65%. How is that in relation to everyone else who's doing it? Am I below average, at average, or above average? Because the exam will be closer to that type of measurement than an actual raw measurement. So if you are getting, let's say an LOSD, you answer the questions, you're getting 68%. Well, everyone else only got 50. The average of everyone who did it there is 50%. So you're doing okay. So it gives you more information, and we're adding more and more analytics to this every week. Add another feature, test it, make sure it works, add another feature. We never stop. Every time we feel we can afford more, we throw more in. Click on My Quizzes over here. I've done none of these because this is just a model site I'm using. But this will give you a list of every single quiz you've ever generated on Quiz Builder, so then you can review it later on. So that's not a problem. Also with Quiz Builder, if you go down here, you can include all questions from quiz topics. You can exclude questions that you've previously answered correctly so that you only get ones that you've never seen or done wrong. And exclude questions I've previously answered, so then you can only generate quizzes of questions you've never seen before, and then choose the number of questions you want for your quiz and then start. So a lot of power in there. Let's go back and let's have a look at, just to give you an idea here of the power of what you're getting. Is not just me presenting information in a video. Let's go to what's considered a really difficult reading, which is Yield Curve Strategies. Notice it's 3 hours and 11 minutes long. And it's not really 3 hours and 11 minutes long. A lot of that time is me spending time with all of those big examples in the reading. Those blue box examples that go on for 3 pages. I walk through them and I pick them apart so that you fully understand everything that's going on. So not only do I explain all the content, all of the difficult stuff I'll explain as well. Notice what we have in supporting this reading. You have the full-length video. You have example 5 from this reading. Example 5, 40 minutes, the video is 40 minutes long, is considered a very difficult example. So what I've done is I've broken it out and I've explained it even slower. Yield curve strategies are difficult even within the reading to understand, so I made another seminar that walks through it even slower. This one is 42 minutes, and then of course if you need to be reminded about duration and convexity, this is a seminar from level 1 that's included as well. And then you have the review, which walks through a lot of the end of chapter questions. Well, I think for this one we do all the end of chapter questions, but let's just click on this one first. Here's your video. You see it's 3 hours and 11 minutes long. Here are your LOSs across the top. You can jump to whatever section that you want to. But let's just scroll down. Question, answer. Question, answer. Question, answer. I need more information, answer. Still need more information, answer. Question, answer, and we can just keep scrolling. Chances are any question you've had has probably already been asked. Now, pay attention here. Look at this. 1419, 1618, they're all in chronological order. 1652, 1715, 1818, 2128. And how it works is that as the video is scrolling, the older comments fall off, and the comments work in the order that we have them in the time. So at any given time, as you scroll down, the very next comment will be all comments at around that time of the video. So if you're watching something, you think, hang on a second, I don't quite get that. You scroll down and you can read, you say, oh, somebody already asked that question, and there's the answer for it. Just having this type of question and answer accessible to you. Think about it. Book 4, what did we say? 47 cents a day. I could probably sell just the question and answer for 4. Look, it just keeps going on and on because it's considered one of the more difficult readings, so you can see all of the questions candidates have had. So there you go. There's a nice tour of everything that is there. So again, let me just point this out. This is $375 Canadian, which is $282 US. There's still 105 days left. Can you extract $2.68 of value a day out of what we offer? Just the comments below the videos alone, just the ability to ask a question or several questions to clear up a particular area that you're having trouble with speeds you up. Also, all the videos on our site, even though it's 52 hours of video, we do have a multiple player, a multi-speed player with the Vimeo player. I have mine set at 1.65, so I listen to myself at 1.65 speed. I recommend 1.5 because I do talk slow in the videos on purpose. So if you listen at 1.5, that's not really 52 hours anymore. That's something like 32, 33 hours to get through all of the content. So just think about it. You can power through all the content in 32, 33 hours, a great review of everything you've done. You have all the review videos with the end of chapter review questions. You have all of the question and answers under every video. You can see what questions do candidates have, what was the answer, are my questions answered with that? If not, ask your own question. You have the past AM exam walkthroughs. You have 8 hours of book 2 exam prep. You have 4 mock exams. I don't know if I mentioned that, and one of them has a full walkthrough with the grader, plus those 37 videos. Only the 37 videos that apply to the 37 readings are archived for future reference. So once you become a full charter holder, you will have the ability to upgrade to the most recent past content. So if it's 2020 or 2022 when you get the charter and you want to review some concepts from level 3, you can upgrade your library to the 2021 content. You cannot do that if you were never a subscriber. So I want you to think about that for a minute, to have the ability to do that later on when you're a full charter holder. If you have a library at level 3 and at level 2 and at level 1, and you can update those each year, you're not going to get that unless you were a subscriber. And again, I want to stress, $268 a day. Or if you're just buying one section, 45 cents a day. And of course, I am referring to the US price. I've converted my Canadian price. So with 105 days left, this is the best that I can do to help you out, is point out that this is not as expensive as you think it is. And in fact, when you break it down per day, I don't think you're going to find anything that gives you this much help for the exam for that cost. Good luck.